Hey everyone, hope everyone has had a great weekend. We're back with casuals and then later in the video it's just regular solos. Glad they finally brought that back. I'll still do casuals until I complete this 5-box loadout challenge every now and then, along with regular solos. We will have chapter 16, 17, 18 of the Orchard's Bones, and then typical stream time on actually Tuesday will be the first. So yeah, 5 to 8, and then I'm not sure if we're going to be doing a stream on Thursday, as I will be getting ready for the 4th of July, but we'll see.
Chapter 16, The Last Banner. Memory is not truth. It is what endures when truth is too heavy to carry. From the Journal of the 11th Archivist, sealed beneath Dunmarrow, long before the orchard took root, till the god beneath the earth whispered his name into mortal dreams. The Hollowlands were not forgotten. They were a kingdom, a cruel one, perhaps built on conquest and relics, but strong. Its name has since been swallowed. Its banners turned to rot, but one name survived ruin. Aaron Vey. He was not born into legend. He earned it on broken fields in bloodied armor, beneath skies that never saw peace. A general who refused the title of king, who wore no crown but carried a sword heavy with oaths. When the first godfall began and old slumbering powers rose from beneath the roots of the world, Vey led the charge not with faith but with fire. He carved his way into prophecy not by destiny, but by defiance. And it was in the mountains, what we now call the Iron Teeth, that he made his final stand. The fortress that would become Blackwell was once a great citadel called Carrow Deep, forged into the stone by miners and masons who knew the bones of the earth better than any priest. It was said the stone there drank sound, and that when he entered, he could hear his own heart beat slower. That silence became strategy. It was at Carrow Deep that Vey first learned the truth of Velith. Not just a god of time and memory, but one who fed on them, grew stronger with every retelling, every story, every heroic song sung in candlelight. Killing Velith was impossible, but Vey understood something most did not. If a god cannot die, make the world forget it ever lived. With a circle of trusted allies, sorcerers, archivists, blood oath warriors, he performed the binding, a ritual not of destruction, but erasure, a sacrifice of memory itself. Carrow Deep was renamed, hidden, sealed beneath spell, stone, and silence. The Blackwell was born, not a tomb, but a wound where the god could not escape. Unless someone remembered the shape of the blade that sealed him, Aaron Vey was never seen again. Some say he was buried with the god. Some say he still walks the well, dreaming. And some say his last act was not to hide the god, but to bury himself so no one else would ever wear the burden. Far above, in the present, a boy named Cale Rennan carries the echo of that man. He climbs the same path. And below, in the stone-bound dark, the well waits. Not sealed, not forgotten, only remembering.
Enemies are dropping into the area. Watch the skies.
Chapter 17, Through the Vein That Remembers. The mountain did not welcome them, but it did not stop them, either. The bleached one stood at the rim of a narrow chasm carved into the iron teeth. A wound in the stone where light refused to go. Snow fell, but did not touch them. They left no footprints. Not anymore. Each held a piece of the shattered obsidian shard, pulsing like a dying star. The fragments hummed not with sound, but with remembrance, a compass not of metal or magic, but of emotion burned into stone. The warden who had once been paid raised a fragment. "Here," he rasped. One of the others stepped forward, unspooling a length of thread made from human hair and rooting. It caught on nothing. Then something twisted, like cloth catching an unseen nail. A seam open in the air, thin as paper, slick with light that bent the wrong way. Memory vein. They had not used one since the binding. It was a crime even then. forbidden to cross into the psychic trails left by the dead. The Hollowlands were full of such echoes, battlefields, birthplaces, deathbeds. Most were dim, but Kale was bright, brighter by the day. The bleached one stepped through, not walking forward, but sideways into the fold. Inside, time did not pass. Or rather, it passed all at once. Each step fell upon a different memory. A field on fire, a child's grave, a forgotten lullaby hummed under dying breath. Kale's presence stitched them together, an accidental thread binding them to him. He was close. They felt the echo of his heartbeat in the bones of the place. Each breath he drew in the waking world sent ripples through memory space, like wind across still water. "He is at the edge of the well," said the third, whose jaw had fused shut long ago. The sword stirs. The one who had once been Taith reached into the memory path and pulled out a voice, a fractured line of Kale's speech from days before. "Then I've just made him stronger." Taith crushed the voice in his hand. The memory screamed. Somewhere in the real world, Kale would feel it. Not pain, but dread. A sudden pulse of wrongness. A shiver in the bones. The bleached ones continued, following the pull of the pendant like scent on blood. They stepped across a ruined hall filled with dying soldiers. A door that opened onto fire. A bed where someone wept over a name already forgotten. Then, a campfire. Still warm. Recent. The edge of real space. Beyond it, snow. The mountains. A narrow cliff road. And footprints. They emerged into the waking world once more, dragging frost and shadow with them. Their bodies creaked in the effort. Gods twisted into bone, but they were through. One pointed down the path, where the wind howled past knife-edged stones. Vay's echo is ahead. Another raised a finger to its stitched lips. No warning, only the promise of silence. They would not strike in battle. They would strike in memory, when the boy was weakest, when he remembered too much.
Changing max.
Chapter 18, The Threshold That Watches. The wind had teeth. Kale pulled his cloak tighter, but the cold wasn't what unsettled him. It was the silence, the deliberate kind, like the world holding its breath. Even the snow seemed to fall quieter the closer they drew to the summit. "The well is near," Lyra said. Her voice had shifted over the last day, lower, flatter, not out of fear but respect, as though the mountain itself demanded it. They crested a ridge and saw. Not a fortress, not a ruin, nothing so grand. The black well was nothing more than a ragged opening in the side of the mountain, ringed by broken statues and jagged iron posts. From a distance, it looked like a wound. Up close, it looked like it had never healed. The statues were weathered beyond recognition, but one still held a rusted sword aloft, and Kale knew without asking. Aaron Vay. "It's not just a place," he said, his voice tight. "It's where the world decided to forget." Lyra nodded. "It's also where the world might remember again. Come on." They descended carefully. The pendant at Kale's neck was hot now, pulsing with quick, irregular beats. Not pain, not warning, anticipation. The closer they came, the more alive it felt. As they passed beneath the archway of twisted black stone, the world changed. The wind died. The snow stopped mid-fall, suspended like ash in a hell breath. The light dimmed, though no clouds moved overhead. The air buzzed with memory. Kale stumbled. A flash, just a flicker, but too real to be a thought. A boy kneeling at a riverbank, blood on his hands, a name lost to time echoing in his ears. He blinked it away. Lyra, but she wasn't beside him. She was 10 feet ahead, unmoving, staring into the darkness of the cave mouth. Her back was stiff, one hand trembling on the hilt of her dagger. Lyra, she didn't answer. Another flash. A woman, young, proud, standing over a broken oath stone, her bone-warden mask lying shattered at her feet. Not his memory. Hers. He staggered again. The pendant burned. Kale gasped. "No, they're already here." The bleached ones hadn't attacked in the wilds. They had waited. And now, at the threshold of the well, where memory is
Enemy
thickest.
UAV is
They were
online.
inside him, inside her, inside their pasts. KO reached for Lyra. It's not real. It's not you. He turned, but it wasn't her eyes that made this. They were too wide, too white, too still, and somewhere beneath the skin of the world, a voice whispered, "Remember and be undone."
As always, be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and for the story so far and or my gameplay or anything else that you would like to see. As always, don't let things weigh you down.